This past weekend, Justin attended University Fair, excited at the prospect of finding out details as to how he could attend. This week, he can't get off the couch. He did not party, drink too much, do drugs, or even stay up all night. What crime did he commit? On Tuesday, his class walked across the street for an impromptu field trip. He stood a little too long, triggering a POTS flare. Justin has had his speech ready for weeks, excited to partake, give recognition where recognition was due, and a face to his story. Today he could not, but his story will be told. I'm going to speak as he wrote. As mentioned, my name is Justin and I'm 18 years old. I've been diagnosed with a connective tissue disorder, likely EDS hypermobility, dysautonomia, POTS, and vasovagal syncope, adrenal insufficiency, and the list goes on. To say that I've had a journey through the medical system is an understatement. For years, I kept my medical struggles a secret, labels I wanted no part of. Recently, I have shed my cloak of secrecy with hopes that the next Justin can follow a different path, one that includes a team of compassionate, knowledgeable specialists from many disciplines, a one-stop shop, so to speak. I first passed out at 3, and an abnormal EEG led to my first misdiagnosis, epilepsy, treated for about 6 years. Migraine and bouts of extreme abdominal pain changed that to seizure migraine disorder. The last 2 years, my symptoms have multiplied, enduring countless trips to the hospital, to virtually every clinic, and through the ER multiple times is not something I would wish on my worst enemy. My parents never stopped advocating for me, begging for someone to think outside the box, someone who believed rare could happen, and that a normal variant isn't normal if there are multiple on every test. Rare is a 4-letter word in our house. A little over a year ago, I met Dr. Guzman, someone I now credit for changing and likely saving my life. Having a multitude of specialists, I didn't give up. I didn't get my hopes up for answers, but within 5 minutes of explaining my symptoms, Dr. Guzman announced that he thought he knew part of what was going on, and a tilt test was needed to confirm. It was the first time that I really felt hopeful in a very long time. The tilt test, I must say a little barbaric, confirmed his suspicions. 2 minutes into the test, I passed out, had a hypoxic seizure, and my heart stopped for 14 seconds. Definitely proved this was not a behavior as was indicated by some. I had dysautonomia, dysfunction of the autonomic nervous system, both POTS and vasovagal syncope. I joke that I have POTS. I don't do pot. In any case, if any of you might not know what POTS stands for, it's postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, not physical and occupational therapy, as my pediatrician suggested both he and his colleagues would guess. It was at that follow-up appointment that Dr. Guzman suggested we might like to get involved in the ILC and meet a lady named Sandy Smink, who he had recently been introduced to. We joined the ILC. It was the first time I met anyone who was similar to me. They knew exactly what I was saying and vice versa. It was there I learned of the American Connection, and a trip to the States was booked. Although insomnia is a common complaint, that was definitely not my issue. I brought a whole new image to the idea of Sleeping Beauty. I couldn't stay awake, sometimes sleeping 16 to 19 hours a day and waking fatigued. Between the sleepiness and overall nauseous, unwell feeling, I couldn't eat either. I fell to the 0.01 percentile for weight and endured another few misdiagnoses: eating disorder and depression. Boost plus calories became my new best friend, but my health continued to decline. In October last year, I once again was taken to the ER. My parents frantic that I had slept 30 of 36 hours. There, I was tested for a whopping 19 street drugs. I was so sick I hadn't showered, but they knew I was clean in a different way. Dr. Guzman to the rescue again. testing my cortisol. And at Christmas 2012, after failing 2 ACTH stim tests, I was diagnosed with secondary adrenal insufficiency. I have since gained 42 pounds. I'm hungry, awake, still not depressed, and alive. So what's it like to live with all of this? Quite simply, it sucks. Not much of a medical term, but you get the drift. I stand a whopping 6 feet 7 inches, so believe me, it's a lot farther to the ground when your blood pressure bottoms out. When I should be out breaking curfew, I can't stay much up past 10. I'm not the life of the party. I can't walk far or stand long. Planning is just that, a plan. I never know if it will come to be. I've had to swallow my pride. I use a wheelchair if I want to attend events. Good days only. Compression hose are my newest fashion statement. I can't even get them on by myself. I can't stand in the shower, and on a bad day, I shower in my boxers, in case I have to call in the cavalry, AKA my parents. My heart races, my blood pressure bottoms out, I'm dizzy, weak, no heat tolerance, no exercise tolerance, extreme fatigue. Blood pools so bad it feels like my toes will explode. Genetically, I must be quite a mess. And yet, I'm a far cry from where I was last year, housebound, and I work hard to move forward. It's the cards I've been dealt, but it's up to me what I choose to do with my hand. Don't get me wrong, if I could stack the deck in my favor, I would in a heartbeat. Days when I can't leave the couch are especially hard, yet I choose to make the most of it. EDS, POTS, SAI, and who knows, one day, PhD in computer science, of course.